Sorry about that.
I mean, I'm sure if like we start working. Are you the one?
Hello, Buzz. Antonio Martinez. Yep, city council meeting tonight, guys. Like Freeman did the last time we was there. They're not letting people stand there. So they changed their policy because of Freeman. They won't let people stand right there. And once you come through the metal detector, you can't stand where I was standing either. So they're blocking people from standing there.
Ready. This meeting will come to order. For the record, council members Invocation and Pledge will be participating electronically from Microsoft. Thank you all for being here with us today. We have a lot of wonderful activities. But first, council session, put a roll call. Vice Mayor Santa Cruz. Here. Mr. Dahl.
Here.
Mr. Gundes.
Present.
Mr. Cunningham? Mrs. Lee?
Here.
Mitsula? Here. Mayor Romero?
Here.
Alrighty, we will, before we go to item 2, the city attorney will go over the rules of the forms of Mayor and council meetings. Mr. Frick?
Thank you, Mayor. Arizona's open meeting laws provide that members of the public may attend and listen to the proceedings during tonight's public meeting of the Mayor and Council. Arizona law also allows the Mayor and Council to enforce the rules and procedures for public attendance at the meeting to ensure orderly behavior and to prevent unnecessary interference with the public meeting. So here are the rules that apply. The rules require decorum and orderly conduct by the members of the audience. No person attending the meeting shall engage in conduct that disrupts or otherwise impedes the orderly conduct of the meeting, including any statements or conduct that interrupt persons who might be addressing the Mayor and Council or that disrupt the discussions of the Mayor and Council themselves. The Mayor has the authority to ensure compliance with the rules of orderly conduct if disorderly or disruptive conduct continues after a warning, and this is that first warning. The Mayor may direct the removal of persons from the chambers or recess the meeting itself if necessary. If disruptive behavior makes it necessary to clear the chambers, persons who disrupted the meeting will not be allowed to return to the chambers for the remainder of the meeting. As a final note, please be aware that interfering with or preventing a lawful public meeting from being carried out not only violates the rules of participation, but also violates Title 13 of the Arizona Revised
Item 2.
Invocation, Pledge of Allegiance, and appointment to boards, committees, and commissions.
The invitation today will be given by Rabbi Yehuda Caitlin of Shabbat Lubavitch of Tucson. After the invitation, I ask that you remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Avinu Shabbat Father in heaven, we call out to you today from the Tucson and City Council meeting. We do so on the week when we read Parashat Mishpatim, the week that we read following the receiving of the Torah on Mount Sinai. This week's Torah reading describes how people should be careful on how they treat each other. It goes into the nitty-gritty of civil laws, etc. And the placement of it teaches that how amazing it was to stand at Mount Sinai and experience divine revelation, and how awesome the spiritual experience is. At the end of the day, it's not just about the faith we have in our heart and the words that we say, but it's about our actions and how we treat each other. And so the Torah immediately goes to describe how we should be treating each other. And it teaches us that even when we loan someone money and the person can't pay and we take their garment, the Torah says with what should that person lay at night with? As they're sleeping in the cold, they cry out to God and God listens to them. And so the Torah tells us that we should be enacting laws, we should be making sure there is order in the world, but we should do it with a measure of compassion. And so we call out to you, God, to bless our mayor, city council members, our chief of police, the police officers, firefighters, all those who work, who volunteer their time to make our city safe, make our city livable, and they should do so with a measure of compassion, love, and care, and keep our wonderful city wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rabbi, for gracing us with your presence. Item 2C,
Presentations.
I have a few presentations to do today, all happy. Our first presentation will be celebrating, National Engineers Week in Tucson. We do have some engineers that are going to join us up front, Jackie Barron, and if you'd like, Christina, our Assistant City Manager, Christina Swallow, and our City Manager, Tim Demir. And then I'll announce the other presentations over there. And if any of my colleagues at any time want to join me, please feel free to join me. I believe Sam Fridio is here with us today. So Sam, if you'd like to join us over here at the front. Don't be shy. Come on. Join us over here. If we have any other engineers that would like to join us today, not that.
Don't be shy, engineer.
Don't be shy, Mr. Engineers. Here you go. All right. So, on behalf of the City of Tucson and the Office of the Mayor, I'd like to declare National Engineers Week in the City of Tucson. So here we go. Whereas engineers use their scientific skills and specialized knowledge and skills in creative and innovative ways to fulfill society's needs. And whereas engineers help solve major technological challenges of our time, from designing efficient building systems to rebuilding towns devastated by natural disasters. And whereas founded in 1951, National Engineers Week is dedicated to ensuring a diverse and well-educated future engineering workforce by increasing understanding of and interest in engineering and technology careers. And whereas eWeek is a formal coalition of more than 70 engineering, education, and cultural societies with more than 50 corporations and government agencies dedicated to raising public awareness of engineers' positive contributions to the quality of life. And whereas eWeek promotes recognition amongst parents, teachers, and students of the importance of a technical education and high level of math, science, and technology literacy, and motivates youth to pursue engineering careers in order to provide a diverse and vigorous engineering workforce. And whereas women make up less than 24% of those employed in science, technology, and engineering fields, and of the engineers and scientists represented in modern media. And whereas Introduce a Girl to Engineering Day is an international event also celebrated during Engineers Week each year. Now, therefore, I, Regina Romero, Mayor of the City of Tucson, Arizona, do hereby proclaim February 16th through the 22nd of 2025 as National Engineers Week in this community. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Tucson, Arizona, to be affixed this 19th day of February 2025. Congratulations and thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and members of the council, for this recognition. With me this evening is Arturo Ledesma, one of our very talented engineering project managers in the Department of Transportation and Mobility, and he represents a group that is extremely smart, innovative, and delivering some of the most critical infrastructure for our transportation system. Thank you for this recognition.
And thank you for your work. Really appreciate it.
Yes, oh. You've got a couple of folks on this side.
Our next presentation is celebrating the 100th anniversary of the Tucson Rodeo. Join with me, Chairman Sam Merriman, Vice Chairman Mark Baird, and last but certainly not least, former Chairman Jose Calderon. Coming up. We have been so excited, and I know that you all have been planning the 100th anniversary of the Tucson Rodeo for a few years now. We're very happy to be able to be here for this momentous occasion. I know that my father was an original cowboy, and so our family in Sonora and in Arizona celebrate the roots of cowboy culture and who we are as a region, as a community here in the Sonora Desert, and it has deep roots in African American and Indigenous and Mexican and U.S. culture. So we're very happy to be celebrating with you this momentous occasion. So on behalf of the City of Tucson and the Office of the Mayor, I'd like to read a proclamation. Whereas in 1925, the inaugural La Fiesta de los Vaqueros Rodeo Parade kicked off the first Tucson Rodeo event. And this month, Tucsonans celebrate the 100th annual La Fiesta de los Vaqueros and 100 years of the Tucson Rodeo. Whereas the rodeo provides an opportunity to recapture and celebrate the times of the cowboy, El Vaquero, that storied, hardworking, independent men and women celebrating the spirit of the Old West and Tucson's colorful past. And whereas the rodeo brings our families and communities together, through the art of storytelling, we share cherished memories that span generations. Memories of long hours of hard work, perseverance, and dedication. Moments of pure enjoyment, from exhilarating competitions to the joy of friends and families coming together. And whereas the first Tucson rodeo was held at Kramer Field, now Catalina Field. Due to rapid growth, the event moved to South 6th Avenue and Irvington Road in 1932, with seating for about 3,000 people. Today, the arena accommodates 11,000 spectators. And whereas the Tucson Rodeo Parade attracts more than 200,000 spectators from across the state and around the world, filling the streets and grandstands to enjoy the rodeo festivities. And whereas this month, downtown Tucson became more vibrant and beautiful with the unveiling of the Tucson's Rodeo's art mural painted by local artist Ignacio Garcia. And whereas we thank Chairman Sam Merriman, Vice Chairman Mark Baird, former Chairman Jose Calderon, Rodeo Committee and Fiesta de los Vaqueros Committee members for planning the various celebrations this month. Now, therefore, I, Regina Romero, Mayor of the City of Tucson, Arizona, do hereby proclaim the month of February 2025 to be Tucson Rodeo's 100-year anniversary celebration in this community, and encourage all of our residents to join in the celebration by wearing Western clothing, as my Vice Mayor is doing during this rodeo season. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Tucson, Arizona, to be affixed this 19th day of February 2025. Thank you.
Madam Mayor and Council, thank you very much for presenting this. We are so proud to be part of something that's been around for 100 years in this community, and the fact that right now we still give back to the community. That's very important. I'm glad you mentioned the cultures, because one of the themes behind our 100th year is all the different cultures that have created. And I hope you guys have had a chance to settle this area, and I hope you had a chance to see the mural when you came in here. Because if you haven't seen it yet, you can tell those are Sonoran Desert people from this area. You can't tell what culture they are. They're mixed. They're wearing each other's different artifacts, everything else, which Ignacio captured so beautifully. So it was pretty amazing what he's done there. That took us about 18 months in total process. Him working every day for about 2 months by itself, but I'm talking about the process of approval, everything else, getting it through our board, getting it through other boards, arts councils, and everything else we had to do. We're very proud of it. We've already had a sellout our first weekend, which was great. We've never done that before on either day. We sold out. So I'm telling you, if you're going to go, you better buy your tickets fast. We've got 4 days left, and then starting tomorrow. I would love to thank my vice chairman, Mark Baird, and my former chairman, I was his vice chairman, Jose Calderon. If either of you would like to speak, please do. Now, I know Jose's not going to pass out.
I'm the crier of a bunch here too, so I'm a very emotional person. Thank you very much. This is very special. Being part of a tradition like this, and that we continue to stay strong with it, it's fantastic. You know, my dad was here, very proud. So, and my mom says hello. So, but no, thank you so much for your support and everything else, and we just got a bunch of great men and women doing what they're doing. So, thank you so much.
And last but certainly not least, tomorrow is the parade, so we're all going to be in our cowboy boots and our cowboy hats and joining you for a beautiful tradition in our community. Thank you all. Congratulations.
short one has there. Next one. Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Alrighty, here we have a beautiful presentation. I just want to take a moment to commend the City of Tucson employees who have gone above and beyond to protect our community and assist our neighbors to the west in California in their time of dire need. Our public safety teams have demonstrated dedication, resilience, and compassion, stepping up when it matters most. So this presentation we will do with Councilmember Paul Cunningham and we have beautiful plaques to present to our 4 City of Tucson firefighters, Paul Maxwell, Justin Keith, Tom Roth, and Tyler Blankenship on Tucson Brush 22, who spent 14 days on call and supporting efforts to combat the wildfires in Los Angeles. Please join us up here. All right, so these are 5 special commendation for service above and beyond the call of duty, proudly presented to our 4 firefighters here, presented by the Tucson Mayor and Council on this February 19, 2025. Congratulations, we're so proud of you. Thank you so much for representing the City of Tucson and our community so well. And I would like to give Councilmember Franker a moment to add some words.
These guys went and fought firefighters representing the City of Tucson and Pasadena. Let's give them a round of applause.
I'm making him say something.
I've had plenty of interviews over the last couple of weeks.
I see that.
I just want to say thanks to the fire chief, the fire department, and of course the City of Tucson for giving us the opportunity to do what we love, which is to help people, whether it's here in the City of Tucson or anywhere in the West. The gratitude that we get and love that we get from places when we go far and wide, when people realize that we're able to drive all the way across the country to help them out, you wouldn't believe how appreciative they are. Quite often when you have a massive fire like this, the local resources become overwhelmed, and so when outside resources come in, they're just very gracious. City of Tucson and Tucson Fire Department allow us to go do that, so I just want to say thank you for that.
Then, we have one more presentation to Officer William Bonanno, who was at the right place at the right time and most probably prevented a school shooting in this community. Your commitment to service is a testament to the values that make Tucson a strong and caring community. Thank you for your hard work, making a difference every day. Thank you for your service to our community. We also have Chief Casmar here with us today. Wanted to give a little bit of a time for Councilmember Cunningham to say a couple things.
So, for some of you who know me, you know I used to work at Judy as a school safety officer. So, school safety officers sometimes have to show up. And we could have been on the national news that day. It was a very significant incident. And not only did he defuse it, he diffused it so there wasn't a big to-do where the kids even knew what had happened. But we were this close. And that's a lot of experience for those who know Officer Bonanno. So let's give him a round of applause.
Special commendation for service above and beyond the call of duty, proudly presented to Officer William Bonanno,
on behalf of the Tucson Mayor and Council this February 19, 2025. Congratulations, and thank you for your service to our community.
Madam Mayor, members of the council, thank you very much. I know many members here, they've known me over the years here at the Tucson Police Department. I'm not shy to talk, except when it comes to talking about myself. I took an oath almost 27 years ago to protect this city. I think that's all I was doing, was just doing my job that day. I was in the right place at the right time. I worked with a bunch of really good professionals, and I would hope that they would. It was just my day to be there. I'm glad that I was, to prevent this tragedy from happening. So, thank you, everybody. Thank you. Item 2, appointments to boards, committees, and commissions. City Manager's Communication number 56 dated February 19th is received into and made part of the record. May I have a motion to approve the appointments in this report?
So moved, Madam Mayor.
There is a motion. May I have a second? There's a motion and a second, and this is to appoint Heidi Steiner to the City Magistrate's Merit Selection Commission. If there are no discussion, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any against? Motion passes. Are there any personal appointments to be made at this time? Seeing none, we move on to item 3.
Mayor and council report, summary of current events.
City Manager's Communication number 45 dated February 19th is received into and made part of the record. This time has been scheduled to allow members of the Mayor and Council to report on current events. These are to be current events of activities within the community, not position statements on policy issues. Does any council member have anything to report at this time? Right, I do see my colleague, Councilmember Pimes, will start with the virtual ones first, and then we'll go over to Councilmember Pimes.
Hey, Madam Mayor. On Tuesday, February 11th, my staff and I attended River Country Assembly. There were 38 detailed branches throughout the Southwest. River East is the lead skill building metal roofing and components distributor. It's U.S. President Tucson, Washington, John Road, and economic opportunity with the night. Declares like you are coming to Tucson to send the best of luck. To invite everyone to attend the 100th annual Tucson Parade tomorrow. Take place on Thursday, February 20th, 9 a.m. We'll all begin at 12th Avenue, the Drexel Road, proceed east and Drexel Road to Old Nogales Highway. To the north, on Old Nogales to the rodeo grounds on Irvington Road. For everyone to come out and be a part of this beloved to celebrate a milestone anniversary. I'm going to invite everyone to visit the newest addition to the marketplace tomorrow. The Gyro Shack, located at 1610 East Tucson Marketplace. This Thursday, the Gyro Shack will hold its ribbon at 4 p.m. Please stop by and try some delicious food for their memory. The rest of the stuff like continues down there. Pack a whole snip and tip. The free spank humor for the event for unknown outdoor cats. The kids living in Pima County. It will be held February 2nd, 21st, at 223rd at Pack
carrier, please call 574-593. Everybody's back here, good luck down there. And we're going to provide the good country of Black Americans to our nation's history and culture. Tucson, we're fortunate to have some strong Black leaders who are tirelessly to make our city a great place for everyone to live. They're glad the following individuals for their distinguished leadership, their community, Andy Sykes, Pastor Grady Scott, Pastor Amos Lewis, Cody Blake, James Christopher, Mr. Charles Kendrick, and John Collins, and also the GS AAC. Thank you for your overall service to our community. Thank you, as I got that. God bless you. Have a good day.
Thank you, council member. Over here, Vice Mayor Santa Cruz, and then Councilmember Kanya.
Thank you, Mayor. So yesterday afternoon, my office hosted a Know Your Rights info session for businesses. We've had a number of calls about businesses receiving threats for the ice waves. So I want to give a special appreciation to the city's small business program, Chief Cashmar, Alba Jaramillo from the Tucano, the Mexican Consulate of Tabasco, and attorneys Jessica Wright and Mo Goldman for their support.
Try again.
We're gonna have to use our teacher voices.
There we go. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
All right, here we are. All right, so some of the key takeaways from that session were understanding illegal protection, with interacting with law enforcement or immigration authorities, protecting our businesses and our workers, and the steps that we need to take to safeguard employees, customers, and business operations. Having a proactive planning with practical tools and policies to be prepared for different scenarios, and making sure that we're strengthening our networks and resources within our community for continued support. If there are any other businesses that have questions or need support, they should feel free to reach out to our small business program. They're equipped to help businesses navigate some of these challenges or any questions, or reach out to our office and we can help connect you as well. We talked about the parade tomorrow, but on Friday, February 21st from 8 to 10 a.m., you can join the Team Up to Clean Up, sponsored by the Keno Rotary Club's second annual Rodeo Parade Cleanup. Let's help keep the rodeo parade route clean and beautiful by picking up litter after the festivities. The meeting location for that will be Pedregal Garden Events at 5401 South Nogales Highway. On Friday, February 21st at 6:30 p.m., join the Rio Nuevo Criterium. Visit Tucson for the first annual family fun ride at the Tucson Bicycle Classic. This special ride welcomes kids and adults of all ages to experience the thrill of cycling on the same course as the pros. Arrive early and be ready to roll with your helmet on for unforgettable evening of fun and community. The location for that is 198 West Hutchins Street. And then on Monday, February 24th, at 7, the Ward 1 office hosts the bike check for free. It's basic bike maintenance sponsored by Tucson and hosted by our office, where we provide free bike evaluations, fix flats, gear and chain lubrication, seat adjustments, and new bikes. We also help provide referrals to local bike shops for further support. And that is the Ward 1 office, 940 West Alameda Street. And then finally, Friday, February 28th, from 6 to 8, join us for our monthly Southside Ride. This evening, bike ride takes place on the last Friday of each month, starting at the Pueblo Center, 101 West Irvington Road. We meet at 6 and roll out at 6:30.
Alrighty, Councilmember Cunningham, we're trying to figure out the audio.
This is mine's working right now. So there's that.
Alright, Councilmember Santa Carlos, I think it's your microphone that's not working that well. Can you try and move over here next to Councilmember Dunn?
Might be not all the way plugged in. Couple things about the rodeo, 100th anniversary of it, which is a really big deal, but I always like pointing this out because someone might be a little backwoods. It's the longest non-mechanized parade in the Western Hemisphere. It used to be the longest in the world. I actually think it is the longest in the world. I'm not sure about the stats they have across the world. Yeah, I think it's ours is longer. It's not going to believe that. It's just something. Congratulations to all the girls and boys basketball and soccer teams in the state. Very big time congratulations. They did boys basketball a little bit different this year, where they broke 2 open groups. So the 3A, 2A, 1A has an open group, and 4A, 5A, 6A. And 2 schools made it. I want to give a big shout out to Coach Smith and Palo Verde High School, who are 24-5. And not only that, they advanced already to the second round of the Copper Division, which is a big deal. And they play on Saturday against Ironwood in Phoenix. I also want to give acknowledgement to Sparrow, who qualified as number 1 in 4A. They've only lost 2 games to State of Arizona teams this year, 24-2. And several of the players are my former students from Ridley, so I take a lot of pride in that. They play tonight against Deer Valley, a game which I'm obviously missing. No bitterness there. I also wanted to, and this is kind of the last one, two of them. One is Statehood Day. I wrote a little thing in the Sentinel about Statehood Day, and it's a pretty neat story because we were on territory longer than just about anybody else when we finally became a state. There were a lot of objections to it, and some of the rights that we have, especially being able to amend the Constitution by initiative, is a pretty cool thing that Arizona enjoys. So happy Statehood Day, which was also Valentine's Day. The day after Valentine's Day has a little bit more meaning to me. This year. This weekend, from February 15th, we celebrated the 80th birthday of my father, George Cunningham. And my dad's turning 80. He started his career working for the city of South Tucson. He actually was the deputy town manager of the city of South Tucson. And then in 1972 became a staffer for the Arizona State Senate. He was the one staffer. They had one staffer in the 70s. It was my dad. He then became a lobbyist for the University of Arizona, and then effectively became executive vice president of the University of Arizona for 10 years, which is basically like the town manager of the University of Arizona. He didn't do any academic stuff, but he made sure that the roads got paved and ran residential life and stuff like that. After that, he was chief of staff to Governor Rosenhofer, and in 1992, he was elected to the state legislature, where he served 4 terms. After that, in 2002, he ran for Congress to get a win. He was in 2002. He became the chief of staff to Governor Napolitano, where he served the state of Italy. He also served in the Army National Guard with Councilmember Fimbres, and believe it or not, 20 years later, I served in the same unit. As you guys know, I'm really, really, really proud of my dad. And he's taught me so many things. And I just wanted to give him a little tribute on his 80th birthday. I want to let him know that he's been a honor. It's an honor being his son. So, happy birthday, Dad.
Any others?
I can't follow that, so I'll pass.
So, a couple of things. First, you should have received your ballot by mail. If you live in the city of Tucson, we have an all vote by mail election happening right now. There is one initiative on the ballot, that's Proposition 414. You have your ballot, please make sure that you vote on it and mail it by, I think the last day to mail it is March 5th. Remember that election day is March 11th, and vote centers are open from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. So vote, vote, vote. It's important that we hear from you in this special election. Also, on a not happy note, this morning we learned of a tragic airplane collision in the town of Marana that claimed 2 lives. My heart goes out to the families and loved ones of those lost. I called Mayor John Post to wish him my condolences and offer him any help on behalf of the city of Tucson. I want to send my deepest condolences to the town of Marana and the people that live in Marana. My thoughts are with the entire community. And that's it for me. We move on to item 4.
City Manager's Report, Summary of Current Events.
City Manager's Communication number 46, dated February 19, is received into and made part of the record. This time has been scheduled to allow the City Manager to report on current events. Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Just one item for tonight. I'd like to invite the community to help us plant 26 native trees for the recreation area at Ventura Villas Apartments at 6200 South Campbell Avenue. This event will take place this Saturday, February 22nd from 9 to 11 a.m. What's important about this particular tree planting is this is one of the first locations where the City of Tucson launched the Violence Interruption and Vitalization Action, or VIVA program. And this program has been shown success in reducing violent gun crime by disrupting crime networks and fostering positive activation. And these tree plantings are part of that positive activation. This event will bring community members together to plant the native shade trees, contributing to an expanded tree canopy. These trees will provide much needed natural shade, supporting youth who play on the nearby basketball courts near the apartment complex and engage in other outdoor activities during the hot months. The Community Tree Planting Celebration is co-sponsored by Tucson Clean and Beautiful and Ventura Villas Apartments. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Item 5.
Liquor license applications.
City Manager's Communication number 57, dated February 19, is received into and made part of the record. Ms. Clerk, please read the liquor license agenda.
Your Honor, on the evening's agenda, we have 2 applications for new licenses and 4 special event applications. All applications are in compliance with city requirements, so an appropriate motion would be for items 5B1, 5B2, and 5C1 to 5C4 to the State Liquor Board with a recommendation of approval.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved. Second, Your Honor.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion on this item? Councilmember Figueroa, you have your hands up.
No, ma'am, I'm good.
Alrighty. So if there's no further discussion, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any against? Motion carries. Item 6.
Call to the audience.
Ms. Clerk, do you have any announcements?
At this time, the public is allowed to address the mayor and council on any issue except for items scheduled for public hearing at this meeting. Make sure you have read the information on the back of the speaker card before making a presentation. Call to the audience will last for 30 minutes, and speakers are limited to 3 minute presentations. Speakers, the green light will turn on when you begin speaking. It will turn yellow and beep when you have 30 seconds left of your allotted time. When your 3 minutes are up, the light will turn red and the timer will begin beeping. If that happens, please immediately conclude your remarks.
Do we have any speakers today?
We do.
Florence Lopez. Florence, can you use the mic that's in the taller?
I'm a delegate Florence Lopez. I am also the Daily Lopez. And my name is Florence Lopez. Wife of Daily Lopez. late Jenny Lopez. And I'm here today to praise these people that wrote that project after naming Jenny Lopez Park. And I'm a little nervous. I was going to write a book about it, but I just have a little piece of paper here now. I'm very honored and proud that our young people that knew Danny had worked so hard to name a park. And after Danny Lopez, I know Danny was a humble man and a quiet man. He did what he loved to do without honor. He enjoyed teaching children and elders their own language, culture, songs, traditional dances, and more. He did storytelling. He did storytelling and many blessings for many people because he was also a spiritual person. Then he was a man of many talents, which he used. He was loved and respected, especially the children he taught. I believe that Danny is very proud and honored that his teachings and his hard work did not fail him. He did a lot right under the hearts and souls of many people that will continue to burn for years to come for all the people as well as others. He was an educator at heart for his people. Not only that, he was going to night school at the University of Arizona to work hard work getting his PhD before he passed. I guess he wanted to be called Dr. Lopez. Thank you.
Michael O'Connell.
Good evening, Mayor and honorable members of the council. My name is Michael O'Connell. I'm a Ward 1 resident, and I'm not paid to speak. I want to first off thank Mayor and Council for changing the name of the Cesar Chavez holiday to include Dolores Huerta. In administration and an iteration of our country that is constantly prioritizing erasure and rewriting history, it is really important to acknowledge the contributions of women, especially women of color, to American history and our continued struggle to justice. Additionally, I would like to take a moment to speak on Proposition 414 as well. As a Marine Corps veteran, I gave my youth in service to this country, and in my transition from service, unfortunately, I experienced a brief stint of homelessness when I was readjusting to civilian life and struggling to find work. When I think back on that time, and I look at the measures within Proposition 414, I see impactful, actionable solutions that would have made a huge difference in my life, and specifically helped with my situation when I had nowhere to call home. I live in the Sunnyside neighborhood, and every day at least 100 people pass through the alley and walk behind my house. You know, I don't mind because you don't need a roof over your head to be my neighbor, and I try to help these folks when I can. But every day I see people hurting, I see people suffering, and I see people with nowhere to go who are looking for solutions. I just really appreciate the leadership and wanted to thank y'all today for doing something on this issue that is very important to me. So thank you, and I appreciate the time.
Caleb Gutierrez. And then after Caleb, we're gonna have Emma Alvarez, so be ready.
Hi, thanks for having me come up and speak today. I'm Caleb Gutierrez. I'm back after 9 years, or 10 years. I am the founder of Cushing Street Skate Park. I was here almost 10 years ago to present the idea and proposal of Cushing Street. So I came here to say thank you. And thank you to the mayor and the old mayor, Mr. Jonathan Rothschild, and Mayor Council. Yeah, it's been a journey. It's been 9 years of dedication and a labor of love, and it's been interesting, a lot of things, but I really admire our community for sticking with me and being here today, because the park is fully funded, and it's going to be the first shaded skate park in the entire state of Arizona. I'm really excited for that. It's really hot in this part of the country. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that's helped, and thank you to the community for sticking with me and my ideas. So thank you very much.
And after Elma will be Azul Navarrete Valera. You could be on standby.
Good afternoon. I'm here to speak about the Lourdes Web. What can be said about this amazing woman that hasn't already been said? She was born April 10, 1930. In her lifetime, she has accomplished what others aspire to. She began her career as a school teacher. Dolores worked alongside the great Cesar Chavez. She was the co-founder of the National Farm Workers Association. She secured state-backed aid for dependent families and disability insurance for injured California farm workers. Led the grape industry to change its practices by protests, which were non-violent action. She also worked to register voters, advocate for education reform, and is also a leader in the Chicano civil rights movement. Though it has not been an easy road, having been arrested several times, she continued to fight for the rights of those who have none. I would like to note she did all of this as a single working mama. Along her way, she has earned the following: Eleanor Roosevelt Human Rights Award, honorary PhD degree from California State University. She received the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Obama in 2012. These are just a few of the many awards she has rightfully earned. It fills my heart with joy to know that we will be acknowledging Ms. Huerta here in our beloved city of Tucson. Dolores Huerta's advocacy work took her from the classroom, but she continues being a teacher. She has taught us that women have a voice and the tenacity to get things done. She has taught us that when things seem impossible, we can accomplish our set goals. She has taught us that loving our community is one of the greatest loves we will ever have. She has taught us that united, we are stronger. She has taught us that huelga is a word of power. She has taught us that her empowering yell of "Si se puede" would endure time and be a phrase that gave us hope to dream and become activists. Thank you for always being our teacher and leading by example, Dolores. As you have probably guessed by now, Dolores Huerta is my living hero. Her influence reached this girl in a very, very small border town of Naco. And in her powerful phrase, "Si se puede, si se puede, si se puede, para siempre." Thank you.
Thank you, Rosa.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, members. I would like to begin by acknowledging that we are gathered on ancestral lands of the Hana, Atom, and Yaqui people. My name is Azul Navarrete Valera, and today I stand before you to voice my support for the resolution to rename Christopher Columbus Park to Daniel Lewis Park. 5 years ago, when I was a female co-president of the Tucson Native Youth Council, who are here today, we were given the opportunity to lead the renaming effort. Unfortunately, the arrival of COVID-19 heavily impacted our process. However, the Tucson community continued showing support for this cause. I refused to let this vision fade and continued advocating for the renaming of the park. Danny Lopez's dedication to preserving Tohono O'odham knowledge and nurturing future generations incorporates the values of inclusivity, empowerment, and community that our public faces should reflect. By honoring his legacy, we not only celebrate a local hero, but also recognize the importance of cultural preservation and community leadership. I want to extend my deepest gratitude to my mentor, Antonio Ramirez, who has helped me greatly with this issue and has been by my side encouraging and guiding me for the past 5 years. And to Danny Lopez's family, Monica and Florence, thank you for your continued support and for the beautiful speech you shared during the Indigenous Peoples Day event. Your words moved us all and served us served as a powerful reminder of Family Locust's legacy. Lastly, I want to express my appreciation to the Tucson Native Youth Council for showing up today to support this cause. Your presence here is a testimony to the strength of community and the power of youth leadership. Renaming this park is more than just a changing a sign. It's about honoring history, celebrating culture, and creating a space where future generations can feel seen, valued, and inspired. I urge you to support this resolution, not just as an act of renaming, but as an act of recognition and respect for Dana Papa out there that wrote this. Thank you.
Joshua Williams.
Thank you all for letting me speak today. I'm Joshua Williams, only allowed to speak for myself. But today I'd like to call upon you, Madam Mayor, and the City Council to apply pressure to all higher government officials on the actions of Elon Musk and his 5 employees working for the Department of Government Efficiency. My time here is short, so I just wish to express my outrage, and also calling on all of you to express your outrage over Elon Musk's unlawful and undemocratic takeover of the federal government. I ask that you here in our beautiful city of Tucson, Arizona will stand up against this blatant form of fascism and Musk's extended history with extreme right-wing beliefs and policies. Following a script shared from the wonderful people of the Women Forward movement, we must constantly and consistently speak these phrases to our elected officials. The script follows as such. I ask that you forcefully speak out against an unelected billionaire having undue influence on and control over our government data, personnel, and payment systems. I ask that you refuse to cooperate with Musk's private enterprise masking as a government agency. I ask that you support any legal challenges or investigations into Musk and his organization's activity. And finally, that all work is halted in Congress until the unconstitutional power grab stops. I also want to express my gratitude to you, Madam Mayor, for your comments stating, and I quote, "Here in Tucson, we know how to stand up and fight against hate and racist laws." Part of our history is coming together with our faith leaders and other organizations to protect children and families from separation. As someone who grew up around countless immigrants, I wish to join you in this dedication to protecting our citizens from the racist laws that President Donald Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance wish to enact. We are family here, we love each other, our neighbors are our neighbors here in Tucson, no matter what they look like. Thank you for your time and for your outside.
And then after Eva is going to be Cynthia Garcia, so he could be on deck.
Good evening, Mayor Romero and City Council members. Thank you for allowing us to speak today on this important subject. In 2014, this coalition joined forces with a City Council person representing Ward 1. We had been fighting all alongside for a city, with her for a city holiday to honor Cesar Chavez, a migrant farm worker that had fought his entire life for justice and human dignity. The work Cesar Chavez did for the families throughout this country has been felt not only by farm workers, but by all workers. Thousands of union members have followed Cesar's model when fighting for workplace safety, fair wages, and improved working conditions. Council member at the time, Regina Romero, passionately fought hard with us all the way and led us to eventually be successful in honoring Cesar with his own holiday in the city of Tucson. This was a good thing, the right thing to do. Now we come to you and ask you once again, or appreciate once again, that you're going to do the right thing. Last year during one of our meetings, I asked Arizona Cesar Chavez Holiday Coalition if we could consider adding Dolores Huerta to our coalition's name. We would become the Arizona Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta Holiday Coalition. There was a resounding yes in the room. The reason everyone was so enthusiastic about adding her name was because we all knew of her incredible legacy. She was alongside Cesar Chavez all the way as he fought for the farm workers. She helped Cesar Chavez found the National Farm Workers Association, that would eventually become the UFW, the United Farm Workers Association. She was the first to cry out, "Si se puede," at a rally. And then becoming not only the UFW's, that became not only the UFW's slogan, but the shout that vibrates throughout the country when workers are rallying for workers' rights. She was the driving force behind the national boycott of grapes that led to a successful union contract. She has put her life on the line every day. She has dedicated her whole life, sacrificed her whole life, so that others could have a more dignified life, a more just life. In 2017, they made a documentary named Dolores, where they not only showed her powerful community activism, but showed that she was instrumental in bringing forth the atrocities that come forth from the lack of environmental justice. At 94, this incredible person is still working to make this a better world. Besides being a role model, she has been a mentor to her children, and they are living a life of service. Dolores Huerta deserves to be recognized, to be honored. It's the right thing to do.
Thank you. Garcia.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Cindy Garcia, and I'm here to talk about the renaming of the city's Cesar Chavez holiday. Dolores Huerta is known as an organizer, educator, and community leader. She fought for the right of campesinos, farm workers out in the field. She worked alongside Cesar Chavez to provide farm workers with a higher salary, better working conditions, something so simple yet unimaginable then. She organized a huelga, or strike, and multiple peaceful protests to have others realize the oppression her gente, her community, and pueblo were enduring. While her and the people she stood alongside suffered unimaginable torture from law enforcement, the similar violence that our gente endured then, many of our gente continue to endure throughout during this presidential administration. Dolores Huerta stood and continues to stand up for campesinos, niños y niñas, y gente latina. It's because of the amazing work and wonderful, mujeres in leadership positions that true and accountable change is made. We appreciate the recognition that was long time coming for an amazing and powerful mujer such as Dolores Huerta. Her legacy continues to cheer and push those who have come after her. Her iconic grito, "Si se puede," continues to bring our gente from all walks of life together in solidarity. Not too long ago, legislation banned the education of legacies like hers and other movements. Legislation that banned ethnic studies tried to erase and bury the hard work and dedication Dolores Huerta accomplished. That's why it's imperative that our elected officials recognize and uplift the work of our gente. In closing, I remind those who dare to erase and bury us that we are seeds. Si se puede. Gracias.
Patrick Gomez, and then after Patrick, Serena Harding.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. My name is Patrick Robles, and I'm here in my personal capacity as a young man who lives here in Tucson. I'm quite inspired by the efforts to rename the Cesar Chavez holiday to the Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta holiday. I was 16 years old at Sunnyside High School when I first met Dolores Huerta, and I was quite starstruck. And I remember the first words out of my mouth was, "It's an honor to meet you, but secondly, what advice do you have for young people here in this country?" And she said, "Mijito, don't give up. They're going to try to push you down, but Mijito, don't give up." And then the crowd went and swarmed her and everything. But those words have stuck with me. And I gotta tell you, as a young man, it's important to see this woman who has been a trailblazer for not just farm workers, but for Latinos, for Black people, for Indigenous people in this country, to see this holiday be named in her honor. And in a time where DEI is being under attack, where you have leaders in the White House who want to essentially erase our history and shame us into being who we authentically, shame us into hiding our culture away. I'm proud to see that our city leaders are willing to stand up and embrace who we are. So thank you, Mayor and Council.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. As well, I'd like to speak on the renaming of Cesar Chavez to Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta Day. Times are really scary right now. Our work is being put on pause and a lot of our advocacy is being hidden. But today we get to highlight an extraordinary leader who has tirelessly stood up for human rights, even in times of uncertainty and fear. And thank goodness, because it's time to stop deferring the acknowledgement of the work that us women do. The fight for human rights is a movement of many, and it's exceptionally fitting that we give credit where credit is due. And Dolores Huerta's name belongs right next to Cesar Chavez's, because together is how they fought. Together they uplifted the voices of farm workers, and the two powerhouses came together to lead the boycotts across the nation. Especially as a woman, I think we should be giving her extra recognition because we know that our fight is met with so much more than a man's fight will ever be. Without her activism and her organizing out in the field and up in the White House, their solidified impact wouldn't have been possible. I supposedly grew up in the woke generation, but my textbooks still look like just one paragraph of women's history at the end of the page, and I'm sick of that. So I'm excited for history to start telling the whole truth and to respect our lives, our fight for justice, and the leaders who deserve their recognition. And Dolores Huerta certainly does. Receiving the medal, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and many other accolades, she has been such an amazing leader to us future generation, teaching us all of the lessons of peaceful but diligent organizing for our rights. And I'd like to especially call out the strong woman up here today for being so tough and resilient, even when it's exhausting, and for allowing your selflessness and your commitment to the betterment of the city to overcome the challenges ahead. And finally, while I have the mic, I'd like to name a couple of women in my life who have showed me the strength to be up here speaking today. Columba Barake and Inés Montijo, and then these last two who are engineers in this Engineers Week, Cristina Madrigal and Sabrina Barake.
Antonio Ramirez, and then after Antonio, Rick Rosenberg.
Hi, my name is Antonio Ramirez, and I'm a resident of Tucson, and I'm speaking for myself today in favor of Danny Lopez Park. First and foremost, I want to thank Councilmember Santa Cruz and Councilmember Dahl for helping get this to the finish line, as well as to Councilmember Ulick for helping us when we were on the 3 seats way back when. And especially to Councilmember Santa Cruz, who I worked for nearly 5 years, and pretty much since day one, Councilmember Santa Cruz gave me direction to work on the renaming of this park. So thank you for your long and sustained efforts, and also for your encouragement. I also want to thank Monica and Florence Lopez here. When we first met, you both brought a binder full of articles and reports about Danny Lopez, and I think that truly speaks to the type of family that you are. You're caring, and your attention to detail is truly special. And thank you for being here today. Thank you to the Tucson Native Youth Council for working and spearheading this project from the community side. That's where I met Sewell, and I really truly am grateful for getting to work with the Sewell for these past 5 years. And then lastly, I truly need to recognize the Sewell's involvement in this. It's been you that's been constantly working, that's been there from the community. You've given speeches, you've written the emails, you've sent, you've done the phone calls, you've spoken to the reporters. You've just been absolutely incredible, and I'm honored to get to know you. And I have 1 minute left, so Outside of that, I want to speak about Proposition 414. I'm here also today to speak fully in support of that because we're running out of time. The Arizona State Legislature passed the flat income tax and has been pouring funding into private schools through the ESA vouchers. And because of that, services across the board are getting cut, including the shared income tax. Tucson is receiving something like a $40 million cut. We received a cut last year, and I think that was around $27 million. If we don't pass Proposition 414, we're going to start having conversations about cutting programs and services, and our community cannot afford to do that. So to everyone here, I strongly encourage you to speak in favor of Proposition 414. And Councilmember Dahl, your remarks about fireworks in Any Mountain were on point. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mike Rappaport, and then Marion Fish.
Well, this is going to be a change. The emotional outpouring from the community, I can't really match that here. I'm a climate activist, I'm proud of that. That's the community I represent. This call to the audience, it feels like democracy should feel like. That's what it feels like to me. I don't feel like I'm going to get arrested. I don't get intimidated. There's no one going to try and punch me out. I'm here to speak. Civil discourse. I mean, what could be better? I just wish that across the nation. I do want to address the franchise agreement, this sort of wonky thing that probably doesn't fit with the heroes that we've heard about tonight. But the franchising, this feels like deja vu again. 2 years ago I was here and I said, you know, we don't have a chance to negotiate with Tucson Electric Power. They have too much power. We don't have that much. This is an important agreement. We need outside counsel. I think City Attorney Mike said, Mike basically said he was going to hire somebody. I've never heard anything about it. I don't know what's happening. It's a very opaque process to the climate activists, and it's important that it not be that opaque, that it be more transparent, because we really don't want to start organizing again to try and do something about the franchise agreement. Let me just see, I have something written that's much better than what I'm saying. I don't have any idea if the city will include a parallel agreement that leverages the city's consent to the franchise agreement by having Tucson Electric Power commit real dollars to mitigate its direct impact. It's the largest greenhouse gas emitter in the region. So there's a lot the public does not know, that this will be the city's really only big chance to get a lot of dollars to fund its climate adaptation and action plan. So I guess the bottom line is that we really don't want to organize against it. Last time we did and it was defeated, it was bittersweet for all of us. We wanted, and some council members openly told me that they were really disappointed in what we did. You know, I think we're on the same side. But there are big dollars. Tucson Electric Power owns this city. It is producing dirty air and it's producing pollution and it's not paying for its fair share.
Greetings, Mayor Romero and council members. My name is Marion Fish, and I'm here tonight also to talk about the city's franchise agreement with Tucson Electric Power. If we accept TEP's franchise agreement without any parallel agreement that lays out specific achievable climate adaptation goals, we're doomed to have the same climate outlook that we have now. Record-breaking temperatures, unlivable heat, much of the year, threat of wildfire and dry conditions, unrelenting microbursts, and more climate havoc. If we move forward without taking the time to try for resources that will be necessary to implement the climate action and adaptation plan, I feel it would render the plan just a gigantic waste of time, money, and community input. Well, Fatima Luna and Michael Catanzaro have done amazing work in getting some federal money and also some city money. We all should realize that it's not going to be enough. TEP is the region's largest contributor to greenhouse emissions. They're not the bad guys here. They're a for-profit corporation doing what they do best, make a profit. Their CEO boasts as much in his most recent quarterly shareholders letter, that it was Tucson's electric power rate hikes that netted Fortis, its parent company, record profits. We want the city to ask for its fair share. If you come into my house and to fix my dishwasher, and you leave the dirt and grime from your work on my kitchen floor, you need to clean it up. That's an oversimplification. But that's like TEP's bringing you electricity, and at the same time bringing you all the environmental damage of burning fossil fuels to get that electricity to you. In the case of my house, it's common courtesy to clean up after yourself. And I don't really see the difference with TEP and its obligations to the city.
Thank you, Mayor Scott.
Thank you, Mayor, Madam Mayor and Council. I'm here to speak on behalf of the FEMA Air Labor Federation, but more on behalf of the labor movement. As a CWA member for 47 years, I'm very honored that we are going to change the name. I mean, not only change the name, but add Dolores Huerta to the proclamation. Every single day, we sit down and have breakfast, lunch, dinner at the end of at the table, and we have food that's been planted, picked and harvested by farm workers. Why is it that the people who bring the most sacred work are the ones that are not recognized for it? That do those sacred work are not recognized for it. They're the most oppressed and most exploited, of course. In 1962, the answer to that question, Dolores Huerta and Cesar Chavez founded the National Farm Workers Association, the predecessors of the United Farm Workers Union, and despite gender and ethnic biases, she helped organize the 1965 Delano strike. She became the lead negotiator for the 5,000 grape workers and laid the foundation, the groundwork for their first contract. Dolores Huerta's long career is studded with bold moves, negotiating contracts, fighting the use and the of harmful pesticides, and advocating the health benefits and unemployment for workers who, through no fault of their own, could no longer go out in the fields. In the 40s and 50s, raising a family, Dolores set her sights even higher. She became the lobbyist for workers' rights, and in the 80s and 2000s, she dedicated herself to getting more Latinos elected, especially women, to the political office, and to continue to fight the women's work and workers' rights. Dolores Huerta's legacy lives on in the work of the United Farm Workers and all workers advocates do today. We owe a debt of gratitude for setting such a powerful example to follow. When we are tired, we can remember her struggles, and when we are beaten and bloody, we can remember her resolve. And when we win, we remember, and we said, we as women should shine light on our accomplishments and not feel egotistical when we do. It's a way to let women know that we as women can accomplish great things. Now you may not be a woman, nobody's perfect, but the Lotus taught us that women belong in the labor movement. No good will come to anything built if it excludes women by design. Women have always made the labor movement and run, and together we will continue to fight, continue to organize, and continue to win. We believe that most principles spelled out in the United Farm Workers vision statement: integrity, dignity, innovation, and si se puede attitude.
Scott, I cannot read your last name. It starts with an H. Scott Hancock. Thank you, Scott.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you, Scott Hancock, a Tucson resident speaking on my own behalf. Thanks for the opportunity. So I've noticed yard signs popping up around town asking Phoenix Underground's, why can't we? And to be honest, I had hoped we'd put this issue to bed. Undergrounding power lines is an unnecessary expense for Tucson. Even the utility admitted as much last time this came up. We don't face the coastal winds or forest risks that typically justify such costly infrastructure. And like others, 2 years ago, I stood up here expressing similar concerns about rushed franchise agreement and underground negotiations with our utility. Back then, the climate community's opposition ultimately proved decisive in that vote. Now, I understand November is the target for a new franchise vote. Yet there's been limited public discussion about a parallel climate agreement, a crucial element that other cities across the nation have successfully secured. With federal support and IRA funds facing uncertainty, it's more critical than ever that we leverage our healthy relationship with the utilities to secure meaningful climate agreements. We can learn from peer cities leading the way. Chicago used their franchise negotiations to establish an independent nonprofit administering community grants. San Diego secured millions in climate equity funding from shareholders, not ratepayers. At least 20 major cities in the U.S. will renegotiate their franchise agreements by 2030, and Tucson has the opportunity to once again demonstrate what's possible when we negotiate with vision and purpose. We have cooling centers in every ward. Great, let's put batteries in them. Let's bring them one step closer to fully functional resilient hubs. Mayor and Council, I'm concerned that these negotiations appear to be happening behind closed doors again. The optics before were not great, now there aren't even optics. We can't move forward another rushed process that ends with last-minute concessions tacked on to ease public concern. The franchise agreement is one of our strongest leverage points for securing action. I've heard we don't have leverage here, and that is just not true. Let's use it wisely. This is our opportunity to negotiate a comprehensive parallel climate agreement that prepares Tucson for our uncertain future. We shouldn't settle for less than what other cities have achieved. The climate community's voice was decisive 2 years ago, and we're eager to see Tucson seize this prime moment for climate action. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Robert Royce.
Appreciate the chance to speak tonight. I'm here to ask for a no vote on 414. This is my 376 official city council meeting in the last 24 years. I've been pretty scarce lately. I'm 24 years older than when I first walked in this room, and those seats throw my back out. And I'm totally spoiled by the theater seating at the supervisor's meeting room. I'm asking for a no vote on this. We don't need another sales tax. We've already got a 2.7% differential between inside the city and the unincorporated Pima County. You're going to raise it to 3.2%. You're going to drive some businesses out of the city and turn it into a cottage industry operating outside of the city. I mean, it's nice that the auto mall volunteered to be incorporated, but any car dealer that's established itself outside of the city limits is going to have an unnatural advantage. What we need is my county, countywide sales tax, which will replace our charter-enabled sales tax I'm requesting that 3/4 of the new revenue to the county goes towards real estate tax abatement, because it's not fair that our city residents are paying a stiff sales tax, which you want to make stiffer. And we cross the river into the foothills, and they're not paying any general fund for transportation other than the RTA for their luxury meals. But here in Tucson, you want to charge 3.2%, that's not right. The RTA is going down in the fall, and it's going to leave a huge gap. So let me lay out my plan that I presented to the voters when I tried to get on the ballot in District 1 last year. My present plan calls for a 2% general fund countywide. Everybody gets what they generate. You're getting exactly the same as you do now. But once the RTA goes down, there's no other recourse for transportation than my 1% county transportation tax. Once again, goes to every municipality, and the balance will go to the county. 100% of it will go to the county. Not asking any of that for real estate property tax abatement. This will level the playing field for everyone. It will eliminate the advantage that shoppers have. The tendency to go outside of the city limits. I still see ads on TV saying we charge no city sales tax. It's not right. To level the playing field, we need to eliminate the differential between in-city sales and out-of-city sales. What you're doing is taking us in the wrong direction. Once this goes down next month and the RTA goes down in November, I will present my countywide sales tax proposal to the legislature and everyone else that's interested. Thank you very much.
Mark Brown?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I'm here to talk about police accountability. So basically in Arizona, we have something that not every state has, and that's a citizens initiative. Citizens initiative in Arizona, we used to legalize cannabis, we used to get rid of the cameras for taking your speed cameras, taking your things into a ticket in the mail in the county and the city, they did that. But when the politicians don't do their job, we have a citizens initiative, okay? So we need to start a citizens initiative, and I've been working on this for a while. We're gonna be doing it here on the next presidential election, because there's a 2-year cycle for the citizens initiative. I'm going to be putting forth the citizens initiative for police accountability, to end qualified immunity in Arizona, like New Mexico and Colorado did, to give the people a right to a jury trial for any criminal things that you get 6 months in jail for. Most people don't know that you don't get a jury trial. You get a trial by a judge that works for the city, the same as the police, and they're on their side. There ain't no fair trial with a bench trial. And in the Constitution, we have a right to a jury of our peers, but Arizona seemed to do away with that before I even came here in '87. Body cams that don't mute, because the Tucson police are muting their body cams to conspire against the citizens. They're worried about officer safety and officer security of their jobs, but they're not worried about the citizen safety. Police officers need to be bonded, just like doctors and lawyers. So when the Tucson police shoots the guy in the back 9 times in a wheelchair, the taxpayers don't have to pay it. It comes out of the bonding. And if a police officer does that too much, they won't be able to get bonded and they should lose their job. Taxpayers are always the one that has to pay anytime something happens. So that's the big problem, okay? And then the right to record public officials needs to be in a citizens initiative. And then all court hearings need to be live broadcast. We can't have any more star chambers. You know what they're doing is they're keeping people from going in and recording the police. Tomorrow morning, I'm gonna be at 8:30 for someone who was filming in city court, filming the police. So you should always have the right to film the police in a free country. This is not North Korea. And the other thing, we need to cap the salaries of the police officers. I would say up to 3 times the mayor's salary would be good, because $180,000 is what Brandon Williams makes back here behind me, hiding in that room right there. And he's the guy that was responsible for ripping my arm out of the socket. And they get paid too much. You know, you can do a lot with $180,000, you know, instead of paying them. It doesn't get better quality, it just gets rich officers. And then,
All right, sir, your time is up. We have one last speaker and.
Anyway, go to TucsonPoliceSuck@gmail.com.
All right, so Cassandra Becerra. Cassandra Becerra.
Much shorter. Good evening, Madam Mayor, council members. My name is Cassandra Becerra, and I am here on my own accord. Thank you for ensuring that the people have a platform to use their voices when people in power are trying to silence us. We are here to celebrate people like Dolores Huerta and Cesar Chavez, who also empowered us to be here tonight. They have paved the way, they took the hits, they protested, they boycotted, they fasted, they demonstrated, so that nuestra gente who are here tonight can fill up this space. Dolores was beat so bad for her activism that she almost died. And she was asked if that slowed her down in any way. Did that make her rethink the way that she was going to move forward? And she said, oh no. She said, this is just a part of what happens when you stand up against injustice. She said, this is just another chapter. And after that, after she recovered, she became even more involved. So to reimagine this holiday, to rename it after a hero like that, is simply necessary. The seeds that Dolores and Cesar planted back then determined the harvest that they reaped to this very day. We are those seeds. We are that harvest. Dolores said that when we choose to give up our time and our resources to participate in community work, that makes us leaders. And Madam Mayor and Council, you have a room filled with leaders here tonight. Injustices have not been diminished. With our lack of leadership in the White House, these injustices have only elevated. While our national leaders are promoting hate and lies and scare tactics, you, Madam Mayor and Council, are highlighting our integrity, our spirit, our ganas for a better tomorrow for women, for children, for our elderly, for our veterans, for our LGBTQ communities, for our indigenous friends, and our hardworking people. Those are the things that Dolores and Cesar stood for. Those are the things that I, along with all of these leaders in this room today, will forever stand for. Que viva de la causa, que viva Dolores Huerta, y que viva Cesar Chavez. Que viva!
Move on to item 7, and we will consider some of these issues separately. So if you'd like to join us and stay to finish the council meeting.
Consent agenda items A through L.
Reports from the city manager on the consent agenda are received into and made part of the record. Ms. Clerk, you are requested to read consent agenda items.
Item A is approval of minutes. Item B is Tucson Police.
You have a good night. Good night. All right. Was it more exciting out here that wasn't there?
Yes. That pisses me off that I didn't get to talk because they only call as many as they can within 30 minutes.
I guess. Did you put yours after me or before me?
was way after, I'm sure, because I got in there late. I didn't know that they had a limit on how many speakers.
Yeah, they do a half hour.
That's pure tyranny.
Yeah.
They only have to listen to 30 minutes of the sit. No, that's
Yeah,
bullshit.
3 minutes at a time, that's what,
That's
10
fucking
10
bullshit.
people.
Where's our child? They should have to listen to everyone that
Yep.
wants to speak. Everyone. That is total bullshit. But Councilmember Alvarez tried to go hands-on with me in the lobby just now.
There goes the Karen.
For telling them, oh, that they were shameful.
Thank you
I
for
told
the
them they
video.
said they're shameful out
That
here.
was so
And then she was like,
Oh, yeah.
So if you remember last time, Freeman's standing right there. So they changed that rule. So now they don't let people stand there. Look how they kind of blocked it. So now,
right there in this corner, right here.
yeah.
Right here.
And then they stop you,
No,
right?
she was there.
Oh, they let her
was
do it
there
there?
for a long time.
But where Freeman was standing before the thing, see how much smaller that is now? They're trying to keep that from happening. So,
But we don't know who she is.
So if I had gone in right away when I got here and got on the list.
oh, yeah. Yes, I'll get it.
It's the dangerous water bottle that it's the dangerous water they had to protect the council from.
I just had it in my briefcase. I didn't realize water was illegal to have. I could have drowned it in
They
it.
let the other girls go in with theirs.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
They got tits. I don't have no damn tits. That's what they do.
They put their names on it and everything.
Yeah, they put my name on it.
Hey, what's he taking pictures
We
of?
got Karens and everything.
What's he
We
taking
got a
pictures
whole
of?
Karen. She flipped out on us. She went walking
I
that way.
told Councilwoman Alvarez.
That's where it came out.
Yeah, and he got a Karen too.
I just had to
Yeah.
thank her.
I told Councilwoman Alvarez. I told Councilwoman Alvarez that.
They're like, we can't hear you all.
Since
Like,
the
it's
Tucson
fine.
City Protect Police shirt so famous, now we should get a Tucson City Council Swallow shirt going on. What do you think about that? Tucson City Council Swallows.
You know she's gonna be surprised. Yeah. She said,
Oh,
I put them on notice. They got 4 years. In 2 years, we're gonna start a citizens initiative, just like Maryland, to make them accountable. In qualified immunity. Anyway, so it's the best to do it on presidential election and it's a 2-year cycle. So we have to start in 2 years and it has to be done in 4 years. We could, if you was gonna do it the next midterm, you have to have it done right now.
Right.
You have to have it ready to go on. And then you have to get close to 300,000 signatures.
I mean, well, we got time.
Yeah, 2 years. And just so you know, I was on the board of Safer Arizona, and we're the ones that got the most, 70,000 signatures. We needed 150 that was done with volunteers. All the other ones are invested good initiatives, where they take millions of dollars and pay them signature companies to get them. And if they don't get them, they don't pay. See, and the investor-driven initiatives are made to, investor-driven initiatives are made by the person who puts it in, like the marijuana, that's investor-driven initiative. Ours was for the people.
Oh, I could hear it if I was on,
Which means
West
they
Side.
put in there what it wants to them to give them enough, and then they get it on the ballot. So they're the ones that do it. They're the ones that
Yeah.
25 mile limit, and they can't grow. If you live within 25 miles of the station,
Yeah, we
they're the
see
ones
that.
that get all that stuff
Yeah, we see
against the person and for the
goes, "Oh, still
corporation that sells it.
You don't have to move.
They don't want
Yeah,
you
we
to go
heard.
on your own, they want you to buy it
Yeah,
from them.
you heard.
And that's the problem.
And they want-
The mom and
because
pop.
we couldn't
And
hear
that's
it
why we
unless
say
we were
right
on
then,
the
our
channel.
initiative would be that
The West Side channel.
it had no limit on how many people would get
Yeah.
licenses.
Yeah.
Because we said
Right
that.
when you were at the doors.
The limit, 10,000 licenses that you can get, that's not enough, because the rich people buy them all up.
Right.
And the poor people get screwed. So that's why it has to be unlimited. It should be just like tomatoes. The one that grows the best tomatoes and the cheapest will sell their tomatoes, you know? So the same thing, right the way it is. You're gonna, everything is high quality, I mean, low quality, high cost, because of the way they do it.
Until the government touches that.
But I'm gonna shut it down. We can always go live again.
Yep.
All right, guys, thanks for joining.
Me too. All right, guys.
What's that proposition?
All right. Was that?
What's that proposition where they're trying to tax us for the cops?
While you're still live, Chuck, we
Yeah.
should, talk about the court in the morning.
Yeah.
Right, there's court in the
Yes, everybody be 8:30 tomorrow morning is court.
Yeah, I'm
So-
gonna be there.
Yep, 8:30 tomorrow.
West side.
At Tucson City, Pima County, 240 North Stone, guys. So, all right.
Not trial. Dude, no, it's for your life, bro.
Yeah, it's not trial yet.